Good day everyone, I am Div KTS. So tonight, the topic that I will going to discuss is all about div, classes, and ID. So now, let's proceed first to div. HTML div element. The div element is used as a container for other HTML elements. The div element is by default a block element, meaning that it takes all available width and comes with line breaks before and after. So let me show you on how to make the div element. So inside sa style, mag-create kit div element. Then background color, iset ta siya to FF483. Then sa body naman, exit taan HTML div example as our heading 1. So magbutang kit didi content. Then inside sa div, ibutang taan I am a div. Then mag-add kit gapon didi paragraph. Then sa sulod sa paragraph, ibutang taan the yellow background is added to demonstrate the footprint of the div element. So asya neton. So once nga ni naaton siya i-run, so adi na siya ang result. So the div has a yellow background color applied through the inline CSS. So the content inside the div I am a div, and purpose ng yellow background is to illustrate the instance and div element on the web page. So now let's proceed to div as a container. The div element is often used to group section of a web page together. So adi yan sample code. So didi naman sa div as a container, as you can see, same gyapon na niya format didi sa style, then sa H1 gyapon nan atong pinaka heading, and kuan la is nag-add kit didi ang div container para didto isulod ini na kuan and content, which is adi sa heading 2 and London, then duwa na paragraph na nagrepresent sa brief description sa London. So once nga ni naton i-run siya, i-run, so adi na niya outcome. As you can see kanina sa example sa code, nag-create kit didto div container. So ang purpose din na div container is para mag-group and ma-organize niya and other HTML elements such as forms or other container into logical section of a web page. The div contains information about London, adi na 2 paragraphs describing the city. So the yellow background of the div set by CSS style illustrates the area covered by the div on the web page. So now let's proceed to center align a div element. If you have a div element that is not 100% wide and you want to center align it, set the CSS margin to auto. So adi a sample code. So didi naman sa center align na As you can see, nagdugang kit koan style which is sa width ginset ta siya to 300px, then margin ginset ta siya sa auto, then background color is FF483. Then sa body naman, since center align div element na naton correct, ipakita gin kwanta siya as our heading 1. Then same gyapon didi may dakit gyapon div container. Sa heading 2 may dakit ginset taan London as our heading 2, then may dagyapon siya duwa na paragraph na nagrepresent sa brief description sini nga city nga London. So once nga ni naton siya run, so adi an iya outcome. So the yellow background color is applied to the div. Inside the div, there's a heading which is ining na London, heading 2, and 2 paragraph providing information about London. So didi naman, ang primary focus niya is on centering the div element and styling it with a specific width and background color. So now let's proceed to multiple div elements. You can have many div containers on the same page. So adian iya sample code sa multiple div element. So didi, as you can see, since multiple div elements ani gipapakita, nag-add kit gyapon didi duwa pa na city which is may da siya div containers. So sa div imbutang siya style, background color, FF483 which is sa London siya an aton heading 2. Then may dagyapon siya duwa na paragraph na nagre-represent sa description sa sini nga city na London. Same as gyapon didi, may dakit gyapon style, background color. So ginset ta siya to FFCOC7, then sa heading 2 may dakit Oslo, then duwa gyapon na paragraph na nagre-represent sa brief description sa Oslo. Then same as gyapon nagimo pakit didi usa na div container, then style ginset ta siya sa background color to D9EE1, then heading 2 Rome, tas may dagyapon siya kuan duwa na paragraph. So once aton siya run, so adyan outcomes on multiple div element. Each city contains within a div element with a specific background color. So sa London, ginset ta niya background color into FF483. Then sa Oslo naman is FFCOC7. Then sa Rome naman is D9EE1. Using multiple div elements allows for the creation of more complex layouts and structure within a web page by organizing content into separate div positioning and functionality to each section independently. This helps maintaining modularity, improve code readable, and enables easier maintenance and updates to the website. Additionally, multiple div elements facilitates the implementation of responsive design techniques, enabling content to adapt to different screen size and devices. The reason why kinaman ginapply ko ang CSS style sini natulo na city, it's because para maging maupay outcome which is nakaseparate siya ngan every city is unique. So as you can see sa London, Oslo, ngan Rome, ginapply ta didaan div container para ma-separate siya or mag-group siya. So next is aligning div elements side by side. When building web pages, you often want to have 2 or more div elements side by side. So adiya some codes on aligning div elements side by side. So sa style, may dakit div element, then gingaran ta siya my container, then may dagyapon ng style with ginset ta siya as 100%, then overflow ginset ta siya sa auto. Then also didiliwat, may da siya width which is 33, then float ginset ta siya sa lift. Didi sa div container sa sulod sa div may dakit class which is my container, then same gihapon an sa kanina sa aton multiple div. Once naton siya i-run, adi outcome. So this design allows the city divs to adjust their width based on the screen size. the background color and the city information remain, but the layout becomes more adaptable, especially on larger screen where the cities appeared side by side. So now, let's proceed to class. HTML class attribute. The HTML class attribute is used to specify a class for an HTML element. Using the class attribute. The class attribute is often used to point to a class name in a style sheet. It can also be used by the JavaScript to access and manipulate elements with the specific class name. So here's the sample code. So dito sa ang class, since a GradeKit class, ngingaran ta naton class city, then sa style may dakit gapon background color ginset ta siya sa tomato, then color white, border, margin set ta siya to 20px, then padding 20px. So inside sa body, may dakit gapon tulo na city, then each city may da siya brief description about san city. So adian iya pag once na ito ni codes au igran. So the cities are styled using CSS with a class name city. The styling include a red background color which is an tomato, then white text which is ini, then black border ade, then padding margin to provide spacing. Each city divs contains an heading which is adina London, Paris, then Tokyo, heading 2. Then may dagyapon siya each city may dagyapon siya paragraph na nagre-represent brief description sa nga city and its status as the capital of a respective country. So next is the syntax for class. To create a class, write a period character followed by a name, then define the CSS properties within curly braces. So here's the sample code about syntax. So didi same gyapon siya, but gintanggal ta kanina sa style adto na margin, then adto na color gyapon, then sa body asya lagyapon na niya solid, may dakit koan heading 2 which is adto na tulo na city, London, Paris, then Tokyo, then may dakit gyapon paragraph. So once na i-grant ta siya, so adi outcome. So this demonstrates the use of the class attribute in conjunction with CSS styling. The paragraph explains the use of CSS to style elements with the class name city. So next is multiple classes. To define multiple classes, separate the class name with a space, div class, city main. The element will be styled according to all the classes specified. In the following example, the first heading 2 elements belong to both city class and also to the main class and will get the CSS styles from both and of the classes. So here's the example code of multiple classes. So diba kanina usa laton class na gimbutang which is adina city, didi nagdugang kit class which is gingaranta siya main, then may dakit gapon style text align ginset ta siya to center. Since didi ang ipapakita is multiple classes, ginset ta ang multiple classes heading 2, then may dagyapon siya paragraph, then sa heading 2 gyapon didi gin-highlight didi an London as city main, then adi na ang duwa wari siya kuana butanga. So once pag i-grant ta siya, so adi, as a result, the London heading has both the city and main kanina sa code style applied, making it centered with the specified background color, text color, and padding. So adi na duwa na two cities Styling without center alignment. The paragraph provides context for the use of multiple classes and their effects on styling. So now, let's proceed to different elements can share same class. Different HTML elements can point to the same class name. In the following example, both heading 2 and paragraph point to the city class and will share the same style. So, adi niya sample code. So, didi, ang class nato nang ngaran gyapon is city, then may dakat gyapon background color, tomato, color, ginseta siya sa white, then padding, ginseta siya sa 10px. Though, didi naman is ginsetaan different element can share same class as our heading 2, then may dagyapon siya paragraph, then sa heading 2, gibutang ta didi class, giseta siya sa city, which is adi sa suludan city na Paris. Then may dagyapon siya brief description about San Paris. So pagiran naton siya adi aniya kagagawasan. As a result, both heading and paragraph elements with the city class share the same styling. So as you can see, parehas siya style na may da siya tomato na background color, even though they are different types of HTML elements. The paragraph emphasizes this concept, highlighting that elements with different tags names can point to the same class and receive the specified CSS styling. So now, adi naman kit sa ID, HTML ID attribute. The HTML ID attribute is used to specify a unique ID for an HTML element. Using the ID attribute specifies a unique ID for an HTML element. The value of the ID attribute must be unique within the HTML document. The ID attribute is used to point a specific style declaration in a style sheet. It is also used by JavaScript to access and manipulate the elements with a specific ID. The syntax for ID is to write a hash character followed by an ID name, then define as CSS properties within the braces, curly braces. So, ada niya sample code. So, didi, sa style, set ta aton kuan my header, then may dakit gyapon style na background color, ginset ta siya sa light blue, then color, set ta siya sa black, then padding, 40px, then text align center. So sa body naman, sa heading 1, ang ID naton didi is my header, then asya di daton gibutang sa sulod. So adiyan niya outcome once na grant ta siya. So ade, ang main element sa page, and heading 1 with the ID my header. This heading receives the specified styling associated with its unique ID. The paragraph provides information on using the ID attribute to target a specific element for styling, unlike classes, which can be shared among multiple elements, and ID should be unique within the HTML documents. So now let's proceed to difference between class and ID. A class name can be used by multiple HTML elements, while an ID name must only be used by one HTML element within the page. So here's the sample code. So kanina sa using ID attribute, same gyapon natong gimbutang didi sa style niya, but nag-add kit didi class, which is gingaran ta siya city, then may da siya background color na tomato, then color ginset ta siya sa white, then padding 10px. Then sa body naman, ang difference between class and ID, ginset ta siya as our heading 2, then may da gyapon paragraph din na nakabutang. Then adi and heading 1 and ID is my header, then ginset ta siya as my cities, then sa tulo na city, ginbutang ta siya sa heading 2, then sa sulod sa heading 2 is may dakit class, which is city, then may dagyapon ang tulo na city paragraph na nagre-represent sa era brief description. So, adian, iya outcome. So, ang main content sini includes an heading 1 with the ID My City and ang tulo na heading H2 which is an London, Paris, then Tokyo with the class city. The paragraph emphasizes class name can be used by multiple HTML elements as shown by the multiple city class heading. However, an ID name like my header and sa kanina must only be used on the HTML elements within the page, ensuring its own uniqueness. So, didi gin-illustrate sinina ang distinction between some classes which pwede siya i-apply to multiple elements and IDs which should be unique within a document. So, an overall conclusion sini regarding div classes and IDs in HTML is that they are essential building blocks for structuring and styling web pages effectively. Sa div naman, elements provides a way to group and organize content logically, facilitating layout and design. Sa classes naman and ID, allows for targeting styling and functionality application to specific elements or groups of elements within the HTML documents. By liberating these elements and attributes, developer can create flexible, maintainable, and visually appealing website that meets both design and functional requirements. Additionally, they enable better separation of concerns between HTML structure and CSS styling, promoting cleaner and more efficient code. So, that would be all. Thank you.